Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's been hot, but now it's rainy a little bit and it's cooled off. But this humidity is just slamming me. Um, I come in from work and I don't want to do anything until about this time. I mean, it's almost 8 o'clock, a little past 8, and it's just cooling down. It's brutal. And I was asked this question, and I've talked to a couple other people. Um, like, what would be best situation when to hunt, when to fish, you know, in a SHTF situation, with no power, no nothing. I tell everybody to carry traps and snares and fishing equipment. But like in this heat and humidity, if we were in a SHTF situation right now, I would try not to hunt or trap. If I was going to do any, it'd be like for a beaver or something like that, or an otter, something like that, because their body's kind of cool because they stay in the water a lot. But like rabbits and squirrels and raccoons, I would try not to unless it was a life and death situation. For there's a few reasons. Um, if you don't have a way to preserve the meat, it's going to spoil. It's going to rot. It's going to go bad within hours. Flies are going to blow it. It's going to lay maggots in it. And if you shoot a squirrel now, people who squirrel hunted, me personally, I would wait for the first frost because they're like, we call them wobbles. They're like giant maggots, really, that gets underneath the skin and it ruins the meat. If you shoot them, it's just ruined. You can't eat it. Some people do, but I won't. That's it. Just ruins the meat. But you wait till the first frost for that to get out. And ticks. These animals nowadays. I mean, right now in this heat is loaded with ticks. Fleas is going to be on animals all year round. Us trappers, we're ate up with flea bites sometimes from trapping because they're they're all over it. So you got to be careful of that. Rabies in this heat and everything. The animal might be have rabies and you eat it. Lyme disease, spotty mountain rock fever. From the ticks, yellow tongue for deers and stuff. We had a big outbreak of yellow tongue this year in the deer season. That's why I didn't go deer hunting. There's so many, you know, things that could go wrong if you hunt and trap and snare in the summertime and in the heat, because disease is going to run rampant in animals. So in the summertime, I would probably fish more. I would do more crawfishing, put my traps out for crawfish, um, and stuff like. And if I was going to do any type of trapping or snaring, I would go after beaver. That's it. Now, if it comes to life and death situation, and you walk outside your camp and there's a raccoon or a coyote or a fox or something like that, and you're hungry and your kids are hungry, shoot the damn thing. And take the chance. To roll the dice. And another thing I've noticed, and this is even in the winter and fall, mange on these coyotes and foxes are really bad this year or last year. I don't know what this upcoming, but the fur was just, it's good to kill them to get them out of the population, so they can't spread the mange even more. But you know, there's so much in this. There's so much you got to think about, and people probably hasn't thought about this. Wintertime, it's wide open. You know, fall and winter. You know, trapping, snaring, hunting, fishing. You know, in the wintertime, that would be a good time to do it all, because you know, in different parts of the country, if you're in the northern states and it gets really butthole cold up there, you can always get cheesecloth and wrap around the meat and hang it out outside and let it freeze. Here, we'd have to dig a rut cellar to hang it. But yeah, I talked to a couple of buddies. And this conversation started. One of my sub friends asked me, you know, that, and that's why I say, learn how to make a cold smoker or a hot smoker to preserve. You know, if you're preserving, you want a cold smoker to and brine the meat, and put it in a cold smoker so the smoke will preserve it. We'll put a layer of I can't even remember what it's called. It's like a film around it, and it helps the meat preserve the meat. You can smoke fish that way. You know, learn how to smoke your meats. You know, I planned on building a cold smoker, but I haven't made it that far yet. I've just been extremely busy, and it's on the list to make and to do. But I'm also trying to save to move, and you know, I hate to build everything here, and it's not my land. And when I move and I can buy my own land, you know, I can build it, and it's there. I don't have to worry about anything. So I'm trying to hold off on that, and I've been busting my ass trying to save back money for land, and it's slowly getting there. But you know, if anybody's ever thought about, you know, what time of year would be better for fishing or trapping or hunting or snaring, you know, in the spring and the summer when it's hot and you got the ticks and the mosquitoes and everything out and the animals are getting ate up alive, you know, you might not want to do that, because you're taking a chance of catching something an animal has. In the wintertime, you know, most of the diseases are gone away. You know, you don't have to worry about the ticks. You don't have to worry about the mosquitoes. You don't have to worry about, you know, rabies. And just in some cases, you know, I've heard of some cases skunks are bad about carrying rabies, but I won't eat a skunk. I don't care if I'm starving to death. That ain't happening. I've heard too many people about eating skunk and they get sick. So that ain't happening. But and then in the wintertime, it's full blown. You know, hunt, trap, fish, snare, you know, whatever, because it'd be a lot safer. You know, like I said, you're taking a risk of hunting and trapping and snaring in the hot part of the year because of the diseases that the animals could be carrying. And you kill that animal and you get the blood in a cut or something on your hands or anything like that, and you cook the meat. I just wouldn't risk it myself unless I was extremely hungry, starving to death. Then I would risk it, you know. But as long as there's water around and there's fish in there, or there's crawdads in there, or there's snakes in there, or there's frogs in there, that'll be my diet, you know. And you know, learning to forage, you know, for edible plants, stuff like that in the spring and the summer, or live off your garden, you know, have plenty of beans for your protein, you know. But that's me. You know, again, I am no friggin' expert at this stuff. I learn as I go. A lot of it's common sense, a lot of it's trial and error. You know, I'm not on here like these other channels saying I'm a woodland, you know, certified expert, survival expert, guru, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm just an ordinary guy sharing, trying to learn as I go. And I've learned as much as from you guys as you've learned from me, and I appreciate it. So you will never hear the words, I am an expert, coming out of my mouth, because I don't believe in that crap. That's just for people who has an ego and a big head to fill, and I'm not that person. But that's my advice. You know, leave your comments, leave your thoughts, tell me what you think about, you know, hunting and trapping and snaring during the hot times like spring and summer, versus from, you know, living off of like fish and snakes and turtles and crawdads and, you know, stuff like that. But just my 2 cents. But it might be a couple of days before I make another video. We're still working on that fence, and people's been hollering for firewood. Friggin' almost 100 degrees with the humidity, and people's wanting friggin' firewood. That's crazy as hell. They're stocking up, but they just don't realize what a toll it takes on an old man like me. Anybody out there's got the magic lotto numbers? Share them with me. Hell, I'll split it with you. We'll split 50-50. I need to retire. Anyway, guys, I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.